Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Random Wrestling Talk, episode number 13. Here today, we're just going to talk a brief topic about my overall feelings on this new WWE Wildcard situation that I've overheard on Raw and SmackDown reviews from other YouTubers. And I gotta say that this idea is an absolute travesty. I don't agree with the ideas of what they're trying to do here, in that sense of the fact that they're only using big time names on these different brands, switching them back and forth through Raw and SmackDown. I mean, granted, it's kind of cool to see guys that haven't been on Raw or SmackDown before, but when you have a guy like Roman Reigns going on Monday Night Raw when he's really part of SmackDown at this point, it kind of takes the feeling that he's part of SmackDown all away and it means nothing. That's number one. Number two, which another valid point I've heard from other YouTubers, that's very true and I agree on this. If you take these big name wrestlers and put them on both brands, it makes it feel as if there's really no need to watch the other episode if you don't feel like watching Raw, or if you... I'm not a big fan of watching 3 hours of Raw and you feel like just watching SmackDown so you can only get 2 hours in instead of a total of 3, or watching a full 5 hours of both episodes altogether is a total amount of time to watch. Watching SmackDown would probably be the best bet. You get to watch everybody that's on Raw and SmackDown, but it takes away ratings for the other brand, depending on which brand people choose to watch, just to see these big name draws that are on the WWE main roster. Personally, I feel that the guys that belong on this wild card, if you want to go with that, would be mid-carders. I think guys like EC3, guys like Ricochet and Aleister Black, those kinds of guys being on different brands at random with nobody knowing about it at all. I mean, they really should give reason to who's giving the opportunity to cross the line over to another brand show. And allow it to have some kind of storyline build up towards these characters for them to go on the other brand. I mean, if you're going to have like an open challenge matchup, let's say, for example, Ricochet wants to have an open challenge to anybody on the WWE main roster. And out of nowhere, somebody from SmackDown, like, let's just say, someone who's a mid-carder right now. Let's say Aleister Black decides to show up against Ricochet on Monday Night Raw. Okay, perfect. There you go. That's a good reason to have this kind of situation happen. Then that could lead to them going back and forth and having a cross-promotional matchup between two brand wrestlers that have a grudge against each other. If they have some kind of grudge against each other and they're in different brands, that's a little different. But when you just have random guys showing up out of nowhere and it just is a one-time only thing and it doesn't lead to any build-up towards a pay-per-view, then what's the point in watching these episodes or getting excited? I mean, if you're going to give us pay-per-view type quality matchups all the way through, then I have to say the bottom line is this is just a really pathetic situation. It just doesn't seem to me as a thing that is worthy of doing. It doesn't boost ratings. It doesn't get me excited. Granted, I won't deny this. I have been watching Raw and SmackDown. That's on like a month later. That's released initially. That's released a month later on the WWE Network, so I don't have to sit through commercials and I can skip any matches or segments that I'm not interested in watching. So I don't have a problem with it. But the thing is, that's not going to help them boost their ratings and improve their product and get them back to where they once were at one point. And the way things are going right now and how they got this all set up is just a complete mess. Do I see anything wrong with once in a blue moon throwing a big, large name out on another brand to have a cross-brand crossover type matchup? No, I don't have a problem with that. But what I do have a problem with is a week-to-week basis of seeing big star names on another brand's show. I think that is absolutely ridiculous and is completely belligerent and disrespectful to the brand split. The brand split should exist. Do I feel that every once in a while there should be a cross-brand rivalry match? Absolutely. I think that gives us more reason to buy into the WWE Survivor Series pay-per-view that comes up at the end of the year. So yeah, that with this whole Wildcard thing is a good thing in that aspect. But to boost ratings, this whole thing needs to be used as a platform to build mid-card stars. That's what this really should be focused on. Not on fucking AJ Styles going on Raw and SmackDown, Roman Reigns doing the same exact thing, having WWE Championship matches at random with a guy like AJ Styles who's getting a title opportunity for the Universal title. Daniel Bryan, unfortunately, I don't have a problem with him getting a rematch since he lost the title and him getting a rematch for the belt. I don't have a problem with that, but when you put out that you're not going to do any more automatic title rematches, it kind of takes away what you told the audience 4 months ago. In December, January of 2018, 2019, Vince McMahon came out and said that there will be no more automatic rematches when you lose a championship. I've seen about 4 different occasions where a champion lost the title and got an automatic rematch the moment they lost the belt. Now, why is that? That is the problem with WWE. That is why they're losing ratings. They're not sticking to what they say. They're not sticking to a new era and forming their own new era and hitting a reset button to get this company off the ground again. They are completely and utterly not caring. They're showing no care in the world, and that is why this company is going in the shitter when it comes to ratings. They may be getting a lot of money from getting contracts with people that are businessmen, but they're losing out on their fan base. And their fan base is also the major important thing that got them to be where they are today. Without the fan base, they have nothing. They have no way of having this great, amount of money and all this attention by the mainstream media and people interested in investing so much money in them. I'm starting to hear that Fox has not been very satisfied with the way WWE has been running their ship. They're very upset. They're very concerned, and their standards is that Fox wants the WWE SmackDown brand to produce at least a 3 million viewer rating each and every week, or they're going to pull the plug. Them trying to accomplish that is going to be a major, major issue. Now, quite frankly, going on this whole brand split thing, them going to Fox and being on NBC's USA network, that is a bit of a problem. You'd think that Fox would want all the wrestlers they can have on SmackDown. And bottom line, I think that is a really good reason to do that. To get rid of the brand, I mean. But at the same time, this wild card could work with that, with switching wrestlers on Raw and SmackDown to go to each other's shows. But they're going to kill it. They've lost focus of what they are trying to accomplish. The bottom line is
WWE's worried about quantity. They're not worried about quality. There was one thing, I played guitar at one point in my teenage years, and my guitar teacher, Todd Grubbs, who was a fantastic guitarist, he actually had a band on the side besides being a guitar teacher. He actually told me one thing: you can be the craziest guitar player in the world, know how to play a guitar great, but if it's, and do a very long song, but if you do too much on something and it's crap, you just wasted all your time giving a lot of work into it and making it seem like it's nothing. Sometimes the simplest thing is the easiest thing and the best thing to do. It gives you an easy way out of giving that quality that people desire. And WWE is not providing that. You look at New Japan Wrestling. New Japan Wrestling provides us week to week or once in a while some big time pay-per-view type show that gives us great wrestling with some side segments after the matches are over, providing us some kind of build towards a wrestler to competing against another wrestler, or a rivalry that's supposed to be happening. They have a lot of tag team matches. That is the downfall about New Japan Wrestling that I don't like. But when they do those singles matches or they do championship matches, they have legitimate reason for having those matches scheduled. There is a purpose behind each and every title match or rivalry match that they provide to the audience to watch on television or see it in live action. The bottom line is, WWE is not providing any real reason, explanations, detail. The most important thing about any kind of wrestling or any kind of story is the detail, the information, the hard-hitting heart of the whole situation. What gives you the reason to want to invest yourself in watching this? You watch a movie. They got to give you a good, solid message to get you behind the movie, to feel like, hey, my time was well worth watching this piece of shit. But when you give them a scatterbrain type of movie that goes absolutely nowhere, has no momentum, no pace whatsoever, and it's just blodge goo all over the screen, and there's no art to the movie, it gives you nothing to invest in. What do you care? You just felt like as if you wasted your money watching this piece of shit movie. This is the same thing with WWE and any other wrestling organization that's out there. Keep it simple. If you can't come up with unique and intriguing ideas that make sense, don't come up with them. Stick with the basics. You don't have to go out the realm of insane things just to get your point across, to get people to think, ooh, and wow, and go, oh my God, this is absolutely amazing. I'm so glad I'm watching. You don't need to do that. It's right in front of you. The key thing, the quality is right in front of you. It's called that 20 by 20 square ring that provides us the entertainment that we need, that provides us the story that needs to be built behind the two characters competing against each other. That is what needs to be invested in, and that's what needs to be provided to us as the fans. Go with the wins and loss records. Pay attention to the important details that give you the solid base of what you're doing on the damn show. If you're not following the details, the fucking dialogue and the information that you throw out to us, such as like the fucking non-rematch clause that a champion, when they lose the title, get a rematch, then stick with that or don't mention it. That's like going, again, reverting back to the movie metaphor. If you go ahead and you create a movie that's, let's just say you go ahead and you create a movie and you tell your audience it's about, in the trailer, it's talking about how this, and this did this, or the purpose behind this movie. And then when the audience goes in and watches the movie and they see that the trailer doesn't have anything to do with the movie, it was just a complete bullshit marketing scheme to get your ass to go in the movie and watch it, people aren't going to be walking out happy. And that's pretty much what they did with this non-compete rematch clause bullshit. So there you go. They are messing up with their stars. They are not building them into something bigger than what they need to be. They got a guy like EC3 who's just competing on WWE main event, and that's it. He hasn't even really done anything important since he's been moved off of the NXT roster. Don't understand why. He could have stayed in Impact Wrestling. He would have been treated a hell of a lot better than what he's being treated in WWE. So, I don't get that. Really, the bottom line is WWE, and I've been saying this for years now, WWE needs to focus and stick with a game plan. Make it simple. If you can't come up with something neat to talk about and bring to the forefront of what people see on their television screen, then don't do it. Make the dialogue realistic. Make them talk like regular people would talk like in person in real life. Not these weirded out. This dialogue comes across so lame and pathetic. They sound like a bunch of overgrown children. It's another thing that people probably don't like about it, and what's driving them away from the damn product. You got people talking like fucking morons. They're not acting like real life people, and they're acting like just blown out robotic idiots. It makes me not give a shit. Doesn't get me invested in what they're trying to sell to me on the screen. They got to sell me on what they're trying to provide to the audience. So they're not allowing them to do that. That's with beyond the wrestlers. That is the head honcho, Vince McMahon. As always, same old rhetoric. Vince McMahon's the cause to why WWE is in the shitter. He's not giving these guys the opportunity that he gave guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, and Triple H. These guys went out there and provided us realistic dialogue, allowed them to speak their mind, but also gave them basically a path to follow or a direction on how they wanted them to go with the storyline to tell on the television screen. And they don't allow these guys to do that. They write out their scripts 100%, and they have to read it verbatim off of those scripts. And a lot of times they're having them do this 45 minutes before the show even starts. Now, I don't know about you, but if I have a project that I have to finish and I have a set amount of days to finish it, I'm not going to have it done within a few minutes before it's due. I'm going to have it done several days before it's due. 3-4 days. That way, if I find anything wrong with it, I can look through it before I give the submission of the project to my teacher or whatever, whichever way you want to look at it, as a school project or what have you. Point being, all these storylines and these scripts that they write out are a fucking project that they need to complete week to week. Well, if you're not providing that I'd say they should have their shit all done by Friday of the week for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. I think both shows should be done at least by Friday. That way they can look through, see if there's anything they want to touch up on and change, but leave the majority of it the way it's supposed to fucking be, for God's sakes. Not change the entire script 45 minutes before the show goes on the air and then say, here you go, here's the script. It's fucking utterly ridiculous. Then you want to go into storyline writers. I went on WWE.com one time, back I think it was 2014. They had a job opening for a screenplay assistant, storyline writer, creative team writer. a creative assistant writer, and they had that position open, and they had a list of requirements that they wanted these applicants to have. Now, granted, I didn't have those applicant required desires that WWE was looking for. The one thing that stood out to me, I went through college in University of Tampa. I'm not giving you a full-on history lesson of my life and what I've done, but I went ahead and I've looked on that website, and I had a college degree in communications. I have experience writing out a movie script. I had to do that in college for a project. And I have a whole bunch of knowledge about professional wrestling. And they required you to have knowledge about the WWE product. They wanted you to know everything about that product. Now, that's a very important requirement to have for this job. But the problem is, if you go ahead and look at their staff members for creative writing, none of them have anything close to professional wrestling. They have fucking script writing in movies. They have script writing in fucking, in dramas and soap operas and all kinds of other BS Broadway shows they've had experience in, I'm pretty sure. They don't have a guy working for them that has a wrestling background knowledge and have written for other wrestling companies. Majority of them are all out of the realm of the wrestling industry. That is a major problem. Super fucking major problem. And I don't believe one bit that one professional writer that's on that creative team has any fucking clue about professional wrestling and the wrestling industry in itself. If they did, they wouldn't be having this travesty of garbage thrown on our screens every single week. Bottom line. Anyway, though, guys, that's all I have to say on this episode for Random Wrestling Talk, episode number 13. I do understand this episode wasn't all that filled with other topics and things of that sort, just centered around this specific topic. But I went into great depths of information that I could throw at you guys for right now on this. And if you haven't seen previous videos in the past of me ranting and raving, you can go back all the way to the very beginning of when this channel started, and you'll hear and listen to the things that I had to say about this company even before this company turned into the travesty it is today. Anyway, guys, I thank you very much for watching this video. Leave a comment down below on anything you'd like to talk about containing information on this video, anything you'd like to throw at me that I could answer, or have any questions, of course, that you would like me to answer for you guys at this time. Hit the like button if you like the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to this channel. I thank you very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.